Ask anybody that's on Hey, everybody on YouTube. I'm going to ask anybody that's on any of these channels if you'd like to leave questions or if you want to stream live with me. I'm certainly open to that. Appreciate everybody joining. This has been a very interesting few days, and I haven't done a live stream in a very long time. And it is about time because so many things have happened over these last few days to me, and I can only assume and imagine that they've been happening to a lot of us. However, awareness of those moments is what we're going to talk about. And if we don't have the awareness, how can we possibly evolve as souls? We can keep running and running and running and doing and doing and doing. However, to find the time to stop, be silent, be still, that's what we need to do in this day and age. So, portals, time loops, and alternate dimensions. I don't have an answer to what happened to me a few days ago and what happened many years ago because they're all along the same line. And I'm open to anybody listening here to comment now or later and give me some idea of what was happening. Again, I'll say if you just logged on, thank you. I'm streaming on two different social media apps right now. So if anyone wants to comment, I'm looking at both. Thank you. I appreciate you joining. We've all had experiences with deja vu, smelling a scent, cinnamon or apple, and having that scent take us back to something. Yes. We've all had moments where we've had memories of things, and we know those moments and those things happened in the past, but we can't really discern what happened before or what happened after that moment. We only know it happened to us in our timeline. Let me do a little something here. All right, I was getting comments. Okay. Many, many years ago, before I became a medium, I was riding my motorcycle. Yes, I had a motorcycle. Woohoo. And I'm riding it on a road. For some reason, all of these things and events I'm going to talk about today happened on roads while I was driving. No idea why. I'm open to interpretation from anybody out there. First time it happened, well over 15 years ago, at least 15 years ago. I'm riding my motorcycle on a back country road somewhere in Vermont. Thanks everybody for joining. Somewhere in Vermont. And I'm on a road I've never been on before. I was doing the ultimate, let's just get lost and see if I can find my way home. And as I come upon this curve, I see a tree in a field right in front of me. And as I start to pass it, I start to bawl my eyes out. Immediately, this wave of emotion swept over me, and I started crying. I had to pull the bike over because it's not like when you're driving. When you're biking, you need to have both hands and be aware even more. I had to pull the bike over. And as soon as I pulled the bike over, just beyond that tree, my crying stopped. The emotion stopped. Again, I'd been doing a lot of yoga during that time, but I wasn't a medium. I got the fact that I could possibly be tapping into something that either happened by that tree. It definitely had something to do with the tree. Something either happened by that tree that I was picking up the vibration of because the vibration was still there. Whatever happened during that moment, I picked up as I traveled through on my bike. And as soon as I passed it, it was done. Or I was passing through one of my own past lives. I don't know. And as I passed through that past life, I picked up my own emotion. I couldn't feel anything before when the crying started or after the crying ended. I felt nothing. But I still, to this day, 15 years later, remember that sensation of tears just welling up crying and having to pull my bike over. First time that had ever happened to me. Thanks everybody for joining. Second time it happened, I was living in Virginia, sort of being a medium, sort of getting in touch with my spirit guides, but still a while ago. And I would drive maybe once a month on this one road. It was the back way to get to my house. Now, the area I lived in Virginia was high traffic, and whatever way you can avoid traffic was really a high point of my life, how I could get home faster instead of sitting in traffic. So I would take the long way around sometimes instead of sitting in traffic. And there was this one stretch of road that I came upon. And every time I came upon this one stretch of road, and I'm driving in my car, remember, it always happens when I'm driving or riding, the music on the radio would be so good for me. I would feel this exuberance of joy in my heart, in my soul. And it would last probably for about a mile or two, maybe two or three songs would come on, and then it would end. It would just end. Now, I wouldn't feel bad, but I felt during that little stretch extra excited, extra happy, extra jubilant. And I could only attribute it to that time when I was on my motorcycle in Vermont. That as I drove through this one spot, that I was picking up a vibration. Was I picking up another time loop of myself from a past life? Because if you know me, a lot of my past life was in Virginia, was in that area of Virginia during the Civil War. So I could have been there in that time, and it could have been a very happy moment for me in that time. So was I picking up that vibration? Or was I picking up maybe during another lifetime, maybe not of my own? There was a very fun event that happened there that caused many people to be jubilant. Maybe it was a celebration. And I, as a high vibrational being, was picking up that vibration. Was it a portal? Was it a different dimension? Was it a time loop? Because times and even our past lives are all happening all at the same time. Vibrationally, we are either in the one we are in right now in 3D, or if we keep that high vibration for ourselves, if we stay in that state of high vibration for us, we can pick up alternate time loops and alternate dimensions, right? I'm becoming multidimensional. We all are. Every time I hit that road in Virginia, I would feel the same thing. Sometimes I would forget. And as I'm driving, all of a sudden the music would come on and I'd be like, wow, this song is great. I love this song. And I would start to feel different. And then I would remember, oh, I'm on that stretch of road. Again, about 10 years ago. That hasn't happened now until last week. It hasn't happened again until last week. So at the beginning, I mentioned deja vu, and when you smell something and it takes you back to a moment, but you can't really access the full moment, or you can't access why you're having that deja vu moment. You just know you experienced this sometime before. And for me, I don't use deja vu. I say that I've entered one of my time loops, that something in my vibration picked up one of my alternate dimensional times here on this planet, here in another planet. I don't know. If you just joined, I'm explaining some things that have been happening to me that I really can't explain, justify. I only know what happened. Now, last week, and now I think I'm beginning to get it. I'm beginning to know it, and I'm open to anybody that wants to comment here. So last week I'm in New York City, and if you've been following me for a while, every time I go to New York City, something fun happens. Something happens with my spirit guides, whether it's Lincoln or JFK or anything that happens. Now, the whole 10 days in New York City, I felt, I don't know, I felt different. I pulled a word from the Spirit Dictionary at the beginning of my stay in New York City. And the words that came out of my mouth from Spirit were, we're going to get you up. You have to get yourself out the door. And I didn't know what they were talking about, but I went ahead and interpreted that message for my viewers. Spirit woke me up at least 5:30 in the morning, every morning in New York City. And I just said, well, I might as well get up. It's cool. The streets are empty. I love the city. The streets are empty. About 8 blocks up, there's a beautiful park with like over 200 acres. So I would get up and I would spend at least 3 hours walking around. Now, I would sit a lot and do some social media posting. You see a lot of my videos over the time I was there. They are on my social media. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So I was having a great 10 days, but nothing specific from a spirit guide. But I remembered the time that I said, we're going to get you up. It's your job to get yourself out the door. And I did it every morning, got up 5:36, spent about 3 hours out in the world, went to a dog park, just sat there and watched the dogs, hooked up with some people, had some great conversations. On my drive home, I'm driving through under over the Brooklyn Bridge. I love the Brooklyn Bridge. For some reason, that bridge speaks to me. I don't know. Was I present during the construction of that bridge? For some reason, the architecture in New York City and in Washington, D.C. vibrationally resonate with my soul. Yeah. So here I am driving over the Brooklyn Bridge, and I get that same, I feel so good. There's always like nice moving traffic. I'm always weaving and dodging. Everything's just working out perfectly. But today, I was stopped in traffic right underneath one of the arches of the Brooklyn Bridge, and I was able to snap a picture. I'll show it somewhere. And as I'm looking up at the bridge, something in my soul started to vibrate. I'm like, oh, I feel something coming. But being me, I just roll with it. I said, oh, I gotta get going now. Traffic's moving. So I start moving. Traffic starts going. I'm moving along. And this is the road I've taken all the times I've gone to visit my daughter in New York City. I've taken this route. I know it by heart, but yet I always have it up on my maps anyway, but I know it by heart. For some reason, I miss a turn. Nope, I didn't miss it. I took a turn too early. I saw it on the maps, but for some reason, I turned. Now, if you're familiar with, as you start to get out of New York City, you're screwed. You take a wrong turn and you either got to go back 10, 20 minutes or you got to just let the road take you. I decided to let the road just take me. So I allowed maps to just reroute me. And I ended up on a road I have never been on before. And I'm driving my car. Remember, all of these events happen while I'm driving on a road. I'm driving my car on a road I've never been on before. The weather's gorgeous. The window's open. It's later in the day though. It's it's afternoon. It's after 12. And all of a sudden I pass an exit to a route 111. And that's not where I was going, but my eye got drawn to that. And if I missed it, I'm not going that way. So I didn't have to turn my head. Something turned my head and I saw Route 111. I looked at my clock and the time was 1:11. I looked at my odometer and it said 111. If you're aware, when you see the number sequence 111, there is something either in your thought or in your awareness in that moment that you need to pay attention to, or something's coming. And I realized in that moment, I saw all those multiple ones and said, something's coming. driving along, and within minutes, I start getting emotional, that quick emotion like I had on my motorcycle almost 15 years ago. I started to cry and then it stopped, all within a second. Okay, I said, must have driven through some sort of portal, some sort of time loop, some sort of alternate dimension. By now, I'm pretty versed in, okay, this is happening. I'm good. It's happening. Immediately, within seconds, I get a memory, but I can't remember the memory. But I can see it clearly in my head, but I can't recall the beginning or the end. And I know it is not me. It is not this incarnation of me, but I get the memory like a split second deja vu. Only I wasn't doing the same thing. I was only getting the memory and it disappears within a second, disappears, but I was aware of it. Within another second, I get another one, a memory. And all I can see is a flash of a memory. You might have heard me speak about flash dreaming, of what happens to me sometimes while I'm sleeping. I get a flash of another memory. I can't see the beginning, I can't see the end. It is definitely not me in this incarnation. And as quickly as it came upon me, it disappeared. I had at least four more of this, at least four more of these in about maybe a 2 to 3 minute time, actual time, in my actual time. I didn't know at that time what was happening. However, I was aware, I was accepting of it, and it felt like I was the only person on the road, too. Like Spirit was saying, oh, geez, if Donna swerves a little bit, we got to make sure no cars are around her. But I took it all, and I'm just sitting there driving and taking it all in. What did it mean? I have no idea. I have no idea. At that moment, I had no idea. I'm open to anybody wanting to send me a note if this has ever happened to them or if they can discern what was happening to me. I come home back to Connecticut and I start thinking about, why am I still struggling with my voice? Why why why? I don't know. I mean, I'm certainly out there. I certainly love what I do. I love what I do. But there's still something inside of me that isn't either trusting of it or still asking the question, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because I have so much time on my hands. I need to do more. I need to do something else. So I hear Spirit say to me, again, this is within a day of my trip home from New York. I hear Spirit say, go do a past life meditation. So I said, I'm in. Go to my bedroom, open up my computer, log, type in past life meditation. And I looked for the quickest one, which was like 25 minutes. It was like the third one that popped up, clicked on it, sat my butt down, and hit the play button with no thought of where this was going to take me, only waiting for the awareness of what I was going to see. Totally open to receive. I immediately see, well, first the woman, the person speaking, she takes us to a stairway. She's a hypnotherapist also. So she takes us to the top of a staircase. And at the top of the staircase, we're standing. I'm standing in my head, and it's light. The light of me is with me at the top of this staircase. And then she says, we're going to walk down these stairs, right? Moving us into this meditation. And she says to us, look at the bottom of the steps and you'll see a bright light. And the only thing I saw at the bottom of the steps was complete darkness. The light was with me at the top of the stairs, but I'm following along. I'm being guided by this woman. Thank you. And I knew there's a Donna that's in the meditation and there's another Donna. And that other Donna is like, shit, something good is coming. I walk down the stairs and she's saying, hold on to the railing. And I'm noticing only one side of the railing is there. The other side of the railing is gone. Right side, gone. Right side, masculine side. Right side, my business side. My ability to move through things. My got to get this done side. My right side, my masculine side is gone. I'm like, in my head, I'm going, well, that's interesting. And I walk down to the bottom and there's darkness for me, but she's saying there's light, but there's darkness. And then she's saying, open the door, open the door. And I'm getting a little nauseous right now. I open the door and I'm being dragged through the streets of this past life by my feet. I am dressed in um, burlap, burlap kind of sacky type, bare feet. No one around me other than the people that are dragging me. And it's clear to me in this past life that I was a speaker. I wanted to talk, but no one was hearing my words. No one resonated with my words. The only people that resonated with my words were the ones that didn't like what I was saying. And they were determined to take my life. Determined to take my life. So as they're dragging me and I'm dying, obviously, there's the Donna in the meditation that's saying to the Donna being dragged, it's okay. I understand that in your lifetime, no one surrounded you, no one supported you, no one heard you except for these souls that didn't want to hear it, that didn't want you to say what you were saying. I never had the opportunity to speak to anyone like I'm speaking to you guys right now. I never even had that opportunity to find anyone in that lifetime that was willing to hear what I was speaking of. So I get dragged to my death. I come out of that meditation and I'm like, well, now, isn't that interesting? And I put on some other type of music and I went into myself at that moment. And I played some drums because these high vibrational drums mean something to me. And I went into my past life as a star being, as a Palladian, and I started to speak from that star planet race when I was there. And I got the confidence and I started just saying out loud, I will be heard. I will be heard. Now is my time to be heard. And as I stopped speaking, I was like, well, 50 plus years here. I'm sorry, 60 plus years here. I think I've been asking a lot about where are the people that want to listen. I'm so fortunate and so blessed with you guys that are here right now with me and my followers. But I always feel there's something more coming. But where? Is it me? Is it them? What's happening? So I came out of that meditation and I started saying every morning, I will be heard. This is my time to be heard. And within a day or so, my social media started blowing up even more than it has been. And I feel, I sense, I know, I've never underestimated what I speak about and what I do. I love it and I will continue to do it. Even if nobody's listening, I always say, maybe when I cross, my daughter will put out even more of my videos and things. And maybe that's when it will happen. But right now, I am in a state of acceptance because of last week driving through alternate dimensions. And I clearly, I don't know, anybody say anything here, let me know what you think. Driving through those alternate dimensions, hey, everybody, driving through those ultimate time loops, alternate dimensions, portals, was it a quick process? This was also during the time of the full moon just last week. And I don't follow things like that, but I was reading that it's a time of releasing, a time of, anybody else know, a time of moving beyond. And I would think that those portals I went through moved me beyond this time, this incarnation, moved Donna. I'm still receiving it. I'm still integrating it, but I listen to spirit. I listen to spirit. I listen when spirit says, time to post that video about so and so. I listen and I do it. I I'm able to listen because I slowed down, because I am aware, because I put myself. There have been years in my life where I pushed, where I worked, and then nothing. It was just work. And now I've become this minimalist. This this is what I do now. This is my purpose. I've stepped fully into the presence of my purpose. So a couple of things happening. Claudia is saying the full moon is time for news. I'd say that. Um, Sandra said she remembers a past life when she was incarcerated or incarnated incarcerated in Jesus's time. Yep, a lot of us were. What I love about past lives, and people always ask, why now? Why are things happening faster now? I will tell you exactly why this is so. Because in all those past lives, we didn't have social media. We didn't have the ability to log on somewhere and say, this is what's happening to me, and then pull up videos where it was happening to other people too. And the collective consciousness, the collective unconsciousness is now together a heck of a lot more through the vibration. As much as not crazy about the way the world is moving when it comes to things like 5G and all of those things. However, it is allowing for our growth as soul beings, for our evolution as soul beings. However, if we don't slow down, if we don't find more times to be still and be silent, we will not be aware of our soul, of our heart, of what our heart is speaking. I also read another book I read over these last few days during this time that I've read many, many years ago, and that was The Alchemist. I don't know if you guys have read that yet. The Alchemist. And that said a lot to me also. It reminded me that everything is my purpose. Everything we are going through in this 3D world, in our fourth dimension, in our fifth dimension, in our sixth dimensional consciousness, everything is our soul purpose. You can't veer. You can't go off track and say, oh crap, I'm off my soul purpose. No, that is your soul purpose, everything. So that book had a lot of meaning. Someone asked, what's the type of meditation you did? I just Googled past life meditation and a woman popped up. She's a hypnotherapist. I'll put her name down in, you're on Instagram. Check out my YouTube page. I'll put it there and I'll try to get it on my Instagram comments, who that woman was. She was a hypnotherapist. Thank you for asking. And Claudia says she's agree. Thank you. Agree. Thank you. Someone on YouTube says, I'm aware of the fact that unprocessed traumas cause loops. You feel the same experience over and over, only continue in a different setting. I agree with that. That's pure energy healing saying that. I agree with that. And let's elaborate on that a little bit, because that's what your dreams do. Your dreams help you process things that you can't process in your physical time. So I've had many dreams where stuff has gone through, and in fact, it happened last week. A dream where so much has happened, and I'll wake up and say, "What the hell was that about?" And then I remember your soul is going through things. Your soul is taken to alternate dimensions during your dream state, so that you can process certain things. So yes, pure energy healing. And only when, she says, this person continues, only when you become aware of your trauma, processing it, you step out of it. Yes. And I could see you do that in the physical. And I can also see, look, if there's so much, I've done a lot of process. I've done EMT work, I've done EFT work. Is it EMT? Yeah, EMT? Trauma work. I've done all that. I've done meditation. I've done all the therapy. This is bringing me through even more things. Are they the same things, but a different vibration of them? I don't know. So these times that I've passed through these loops, these time loops, so pure energy healing, if you weren't here for the whole work, the whole process here, if I'm going through these time loops during these driving times and my unconscious, my soul, my alternate Donnas are taking me through quickly through this process of what you call unprocessed traumas. I agree. And that meditation taking me through that lifetime said to me, there was trauma there. And I recognize it in this life and I get through it. However, there's a piece of my soul that can't get through it, typically because of another timeline, a repeating pattern. Yeah, past lives are repeating patterns that happen in this life if you didn't process them in a past life. What I say now about past lives, and I do a lot of past life work during readings, what I say about past life work is if you've gone through all of your tools in your tool bag and you still can't get through a pattern that repeats, it's time for past life work. And we will go back into that past life and help you through that and help that piece of your soul through it. As a matter of fact, I'll state right now, my podcast linking to the afterlife is available now. And I, at this point, was giving readings and connecting my guests to their loved ones. Now I am giving readings connecting my guests to their past lives. So if you'd like a free reading for my podcast, just shoot me an email in any way, shape, or form that I have here. So I love you, Pure Energy Healing. Hey, Matthew, if you're still there. And that awareness, and that totally makes sense. That totally resonates with me. And let's see, Rubina is saying, I also read a book called Soup Surfing by Paulo Coelho, who also wrote The Alchemist, which helps you to listen to your inner feeling and gather courage. He's I don't know about this guy, but yes, he's had a lot of books. Alchemist was one of his first ones that went viral. And I love that I read something recently about him that he chose not to put it in a book, in a movie form purposely, because he knew it wouldn't be like the book. If anybody knows anything about that, I love him for that. And that book has gone viral, literal viral all over the world. Wow. That was a powerful one. I've been wanting to do this video for about 2 days. Soul surfing, soul surfing. She says it was. I forgot what I said it was. So soup surfing, she said. I like soup surfing too. It was soul surfing. Autocorrect. What can we learn from all of this? Really only one thing. Slow down. Find moments of stillness. Meditation is about awareness of one thing. Do you have to sit down in meditation? Do you have to sit down like that in meditation just to become aware? No. If you can be aware 24/7 during your daytime, day awake hours, be aware of everything. Be aware of when you're brushing your teeth, have an eating meditation. When you're talking with someone, let that be a meditation for you. Be conscious. Meditation can happen all the time. It doesn't necessarily have to only happen in a seated position. Become more aware to keep your love vibration, which is what is extending out to everyone vibrationally. Vibrationally. I always knew that's what I was doing. Whether I had the followers or not, I was extending a love vibration out there. That's what I wanted to do. And that's what I did, continually did, stepping into that with courage, with confidence, with my presence, with continuity. I just kept doing it. I kept doing it, even though maybe nobody was listening. But I'm thankful to all my people here listening. Thank you, all you beautiful souls, all you love vibrational souls, for watching, for sharing, for subscribing, for commenting. I am on every social media out there. Pure Energy Healing is from the Netherlands. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you also. I'm on all social media. I every day post something. I don't do a lot of live events, but I may start again. I am doing readings, obviously. I'm doing readings, free readings for my podcast. My podcast, Linking to the Afterlife, is streaming live now everywhere you listen, even on my YouTube channel. I have it. And if you'd like to be a part of that, shoot me an email either at linkingpodcast@gmail.com or dboylemedium@gmail.com, and I will set that up for you. And if you listen to my podcast, leave a review, leave a star, share it with your friends. All right, I'm going to log off. If there's any other questions, thank you, Rubina. Thank you to all that have joined. Wow, that was powerful. I'm feeling that vibration. All right, I'm logging off, guys. Thanks again for joining. See you next time. Bye, YouTube.